So much for tuning in this radio2tv.com, and I'm your host, DJ Harmony, and this is Ear to the Streets. And today we're going to talk a little bit about Donald Trump, Shia LaBeouf, and also Robin Thicke and what went down between him and Paula Patton. So at this time, currently, I'm going to talk a little bit about what's going down with Shia LaBeouf. Was arrested early Thursday night after getting into a scuffle at an anti-President Trump art installation outside a Queens museum. Cops actually did report that 12:30 a.m. at the site of this interactive installation, he did go out ahead and say the words, "He will not divide us," outside the Museum of Moving Image in Astoria. Now, this is something that everybody says in front of this live streaming video. So this is just an unfortunate situation, because basically. There was a 25-year-old Bronx man that walked in between Shia, 30, and the camera, and then that's actually the two men did go ahead and exchange words before LaBeouf ripped off the man's scarf and shoved him to the ground, scratching his face into the process. Cop said. So that's kind of the victim flagged down a passing patrol car, and two officers arrested Shia without incident. Now, a 30-year-old actor was charged with misdemeanor assault and later released. Shia set up with camera on Inauguration Day and has vowed to keep it running for the duration of Trump's presidency and around-the-clock protest against the newly elected commander-in-chief. He is so crazy. The live stream caught the beginning of the altercation as LaBeouf, sporting a scraggly beard and maroon winter hat, is seen apparently pulling the man by a scarf. The pair stray off the camera. Minutes later, two cops stroll up as LaBeouf speaks into the camera, apparently unaware of their presence. "How are we going to make this shit okay to not see out there?" LaBeouf says. Oh, Lord have mercy. It's just this real shame. And, I'm not going to go any further on that just because it's just unfortunate. So in this situation, we're going to talk a little bit about what's going down between Paula Patton and also Robic. There's been some allegations of addiction abuse and just all-out warfare between the two. They have a custody war going on at this time, and there's just some incidents where she's caught him in bed with 7 women. There's been some incidents where she's been in a situation where she feels like Robin is basically doing whatever the heck he wants in their marriage. And it's a shame because I think he was on saying something of the nature of, "Oh, my wife lets me do whatever I want." So I don't know how much of that was really true when he was on television saying that. But she's basically alleging past domestic violence, abuse, being kicked on the floor. And she actually has a new ABC series called Somewhere Between. And I think that I'm going to check it out to support her because I feel like it's messed up. She's lived in this abusive relationship with this man that's a musician, and musicians live an entirely different life than actors. I'm not saying that actors can't get what they want if they try to. You can be a Charlie Sheen or you can be a Paula Patton and just do your thing in the quietness, whatever. But, it's just really a shame what's going down with all of this. There's also a situation with Donald Trump saying that, Madonna's disgusting and SNL's, situation is really, really bad because they're talking about a kid. And so he goes on to talk about how, Madonna's disgusting and, that's just how it goes. So in this case, we do have some news that they have a video. It's Taylor Swift and Zayn Malik's fine ass, and it's a 50 Shades Darker video. And basically, at this time, currently, this is going to be a pretty cool collaboration, I think. And the song's called "I Don't Want to Live Forever." I think it's going to be really cool for these two to pair up, and I will be listening to that later. Also, for all you R&B fans out there, the New Edition story is actually separating a couple nights, and it actually had 4 million people tune in. So big ups to the New Edition people, Bobby Brown. Big ups to you, Michael Bibbins. A lot of people didn't even know that, the history behind the group and what they've done in the music industry. And I think that this is cool because it shows, in this case, he kind of just gave him the same deal, Boys to Men, that that he was provided. But ultimately, I think at the end of the day, he did help us discover who they are as well as the world. And so, hopefully they're getting their fair due now. It's unfortunate that that type of music industry did bring a lot of good talent in, but also provided a lot of heartbreak and empty pockets for a lot of people. So we will discuss that a little further on the Musicians Reporter. But at this time, currently, um, we're just going to go ahead and end it there. I really want to go ahead and say if you have anyone in a domestic violence situation, you should really talk to them, try to support them as much as you can without enabling them. If they can't get out the situation, maybe they should seek professional help. And it's really, really sad to say that Paula Patton is now coming forth saying that she's been abused. And I think a lot of times people don't understand it because they're like, oh, but they were high school sweethearts. They were together for quite some time. And, sometimes you don't want to break up your family because you want to have a family that's together. So I think that's important for a lot of people to be able to have a family that stays together, prays together, does the whole nine, and you have a family that's definitely going to last the test of time as well. So I think that's very important for a lot of people when they're when they actually have a family and when they start a family. Period. So we'll be right back in a few moments, but thank you so much for tuning in to RadioTubeTV.com. Up next, we're going to talk about why Rihanna is probably a little bit upset with J-Lo. I have some inside information on that, and come with us next so we can talk a little bit about that. We'll be talking about Rihanna, and later we'll be talking about the Black Panther. Actually, at this time, it is going to be so cool because Captain America is definitely bringing in some new characters. Black Panther resolved his feud with Bucky Barnes during Captain America Civil War. And at this time, the Wakandan ruler is gearing up to lead his own movie next year with his sexy ass. So we'll be right back for that. And thank you so much for tuning in. We'll be right back in a few moments. After the Rihanna story, we'll be talking a little bit about Wendy Williams criticizing Paris Jackson for considering herself black. That's kind of hot. So we'll be having something definitely hot to talk about next. Coming up next on Ear to the Streets. We'll be right back in a few moments. And thank you for tuning in.